This is Connecting Your Community. Connecting Your Community. Building community through unity. Blaine Heigen and Mallory Christensen are on a mission. Podcasting from Lethbridge, Alberta, Canada. Getting things done takes activism. And Blaine and Mallory have taken it upon themselves to get things done. Watching how other communities handle like problems and sharing successes from them. Connecting your community. Here are your hosts, Blaine Heigen and Mallory Christensen.
Wow, here we are.
Music every time. It gets me every time.
The Little Mermaid. Come on. Well, yeah. Wow, this is crazy. Episode 2.
Episode
Do you think it would come to this?
Pardon me?
Do you think it would come to this?
I'm just really celebrating how far we've come, right? Through collaboration, through our community work. And it's just like, here we are, episode 2. Wow.
I know. And I can't believe it. Especially I'm so happy with the response. Yes. I thought, it's a few here and there, but it's been huge. We've gotten tons of calls. It's been amazing how many people are looking forward to some of the next podcasts are going to be coming out. Yes. And it's exciting as we've got a lot and they keep growing since last week, more and more. So really looking forward to that.
I'm just really celebrating this, right? And thank you to everyone who's subscribed, who's followed along. We now via iTunes. We're on iTunes now, so you can subscribe to us and
it's iTunes,
check us out there
Spotify,
and share us everywhere, right? We're all about having fun and again, that real authentic conversation. So I'm just celebrating, Blaine. I really am.
Been lots of fun.
Have to say, what is up with your face now? I noticed the hair is all gone.
November is gone. So you know what? The caterpillar on the lip is finally gone. Yeah,
Your poor wife.
It was, it's for a great cause. Mm-hmm. It's amazing. Men's health and everything from testicular cancer to prostate cancer, right up to suicide. And it's been great how much was collected for during that month of November by many people. And so it's really good. And so although it's difficult to do, it's really good to be able to be part of that movement because it's so important.
Absolutely, it is. It sure is. Yeah.
Yeah. So today, as we mentioned last time, we're going to talk a little bit about connecting our community. Now, it's a little bit confusing. People say, well, you've got a podcast that's connecting your community, but there's a connecting our community. So just for an understanding, the podcast connecting your community. Yes. So it could be for any community, but there's actually an amazing group and where we actually connected up on connecting our community. So, Mallory, I just want you to take a minute to kind of talk a little bit to connecting our community in Lethbridge.
Okay. So, Connecting Our Community is a grassroots, volunteer-based initiative that we started over on the north side of Lethbridge as a result of the increase in crime that was happening. And we touched a little bit about it last podcast. And, one thing that I didn't share was obviously, like, I work downtown. I'm volunteering with folks on the street. I have a paid caseload as well. And so a lot of the folks that I was volunteering with, helping them out downtown, I would notice them in my neighborhood after work, after hours, and going through my backyard, going through my neighbor's backyard. And it was frustrating. It was terrible because not only do we see the gaps in services, Blaine, but we see that transient individuals just were becoming all over our area, right? And the property
was
crime.
Was it just, so you'd mentioned some of these different property crime, et cetera. Yeah. Is that just like did it just start, was it a lot more recently? And why did this group decide to come together here over the summer? There has been an increase in crime, is that right?
I've noticed most definitely an increase in crime in Lethbridge specifically. I want to say about the last year and a half. And, there's just so many different social issues that many folks face on the streets. And, I don't think it's fair to finger point anything at all. So it's just important that I know for us, it was as a result of a woman who was sexually assaulted. Right. That was our final straw, right? We had started neighborhood patrol. So there were a few of us that would, walk around our neighborhood. I would ride my bike. Neighbors would ride our bikes. We'd just check in with each other. And, a lady has a massive, beautiful dog. She just finished a round of patrol, and we found out the next morning that probably a half an hour after she had finished her patrol, one of our neighbors was viciously sexually assaulted, and she was going 2 doors down.
That's incredible.
To her neighbor's house and was so sexually assaulted. And it was, she even had to do surgery as a result. And so for anyone who's gone through sexual assault, that it's traumatic, and that community needs to stand together with victims, right? long story short, that was our final straw. We came together and
it's amazing. We talked about it at the first podcast on this group of 10, 15 talking and building up to 100, over 100. And it's just been unbelievable how much traction this group got and working together
so quickly
as a community and how to find solutions. So that's just unbelievable. I want to talk a little bit about, so the Connect Our Community started, and there's an individual that was just an extreme important part in this whole thing.
Yes.
Now, this person, Taryn, you connected up with and has been phenomenal. And she actually started the Facebook page.
She sure did.
If we got a second, I'd like to be able to call her and just bring her in on the podcast.
Let's bring Taryn in and let her speak about all the amazing work that her and her husband Warren did.
Awesome.
Hello.
Hi, Taryn. How are you? It's Blaine and Mallory.
Hi, Blaine. Hi, Mallory.
Hey, Taryn. How are you doing?
Oh, not too bad. How are you guys?
Good.
Doing wonderful. Really doing wonderful. So we were just talking a little bit about the Connecting Our Community page and how all of this came together, and of course the integral part you played in starting the Facebook page. Could you just take a minute to talk a little bit about why you started this page and just, I guess there's been some struggles as well throughout monitoring it, but can you just give us a little bit of information about that?
Yeah, for sure. So it would have been back in July of this past year. My husband and I, we were facing a lot of issues in our neighborhood, dealing with crime, needle debris, different things like that. There was a couple incidences where my children found not only needles, but fully loaded needles. Also, as well, we found people staying in our back parking pad and using it as a toilet and different things like that. And it got to the point where, we were discussing like what can be done, how can we make it our community safer and that kind of thing. And there was actually one main incident that kind of led to everything. So what had happened is we had a drug house across the street from us. And quite often, people from the drug house would come to our house and hide in our back parking pad and do their drugs back there. So they would go pick up, go back there, smoke, inject, whatever it may be. And my husband happened to see a gentleman leave that house, and he was fiddling with something that looked suspicious. So he kind of was watching from the front of our house, kind of through the fences in the back, and noticed the guy go into our back area. And my husband went running out there after him and yelling at him to leave. And the guy was my husband caught him in the act of cooking his drugs, I guess is the nicest way to put it. So he chased him off, and there was a lot of yelling. So it attracted all of the neighbors, kind of heard the commotion and came out to see what was happening. And I was I was in the front of my house, and when I saw my neighbors coming out, I actually walked over and to tell them kind of what was going on. And there was a couple of individuals from the drug house that came out in a very threatening manner and went after one of my more senior neighbors. And I happened to, instincts kick in, and I kind of said, whoa, whoa. And I put my hand up and said, you need to stop, because I could see that he was going to attack him. And then the guy actually came at me and, he had a big butane type lighter in his hand, and he went to go swing it at me, and my husband happened to see and came running up. And the guy then went after my husband, and between my husband and several of my neighbors, they were able to detain the guy. They actually had him on the ground. I called 911. They were really awesome. The police came very quickly, and the situation was kind of taken care of by the police. But at that point, the one thing that Warren and I noticed was that we didn't know very many of our neighbors.
Yeah, that's right. It was tough to even connect because, as you mentioned before in one of the first meetings, it was amazing to see how many different individuals were of your neighbors that didn't know each other, and it was a great way to connect right there.
And Taryn, you and I didn't even know each other, right? And so the incident that I talked about was the woman who was sexually assaulted on 6th Avenue. So we're getting all the transient folks, a lot of the transient folks, because of another drug house that was over by us, and then the chop shop. And then on your block, you guys are already now dealing with your own drug house, and of course the individuals who would come in and out of the home as well. So sorry, keep going, and keeps.
Did I lose you guys?
Oh, are you there? Are you there?
Hello? Oh, there you are.
Yeah, there we are. Hi.
Lost you for a moment.
We're learning, Taryn. We're learning. Your first call.
Yes.
So just continue a little bit more there. So right after this incident is when you decide to sit down and start this Facebook page, correct?
Yes. And it was because, like I said, we realized that we didn't know very many of our neighbors. And we actually, that specific day, we met several of our neighbors that we'd kind of seen them in passing. We would wave to them, but we'd never really had any meaningful conversations with them, didn't know their names, nothing like that. And after that whole incident and we started to calm down a little bit, I actually ended up posting on Facebook. I was quite angry because of the situation and everything else that we were dealing with. I ended up putting up a post on Facebook and tagged our mayor in it, and it ended up getting a lot of publicity and a lot of attention. And
you speak to a lot of attention. That's quite obvious. That grew extremely quickly, and you're right.
And when that kind of happened and everything kind of it blew up so quickly. And it was actually Warren who said to me, you need to start a Facebook group so that we can connect, because there were so many people that commented on it was a public post. It got shared hundreds of times, and people were commenting saying, I'm dealing with the same thing. I'm dealing with the same thing. And he said, start a group, we can get to know our neighbors. We can start connecting with other people, see how many people are dealing with this problem, and maybe work together to find a solution. And that's so we started the Facebook page, and it was actually the day that we started the Facebook page that somebody shared one of Mallory's slips on the Facebook page. So the first day or two that we started, we had hundreds of people almost immediately. And I saw the slip because I personally didn't get one in my mailbox because I'm a few blocks away. But I saw it on there, and I said to Warren, well, we should really go to this. We're not very far away from it. It's our area, and it does affect us. We should go see and connect with these people. And so that's actually kind of how Mallory and I met, was through somebody sharing it on the Facebook page and us going down there. And then when we were at the very first meeting, somebody had said, well, we should start a Facebook page, and somebody made the comment, and I said, oh, I got one. I just started one.
That's all right. And you know what? It's quite amazing how quickly neighbors that have lived together and a few doors down didn't know each other, but connected together for a common cause of just connecting and trying to make a difference in the community. And Taryn, it's been unbelievable from the get-go, from the very first meeting. And I'm blown away on how big this has got and how quick it's gotten.
So Taryn, how many followers do you have on the Facebook page right now for Connecting Our Community Lethbridge? Where are we at for numbers?
I believe we're about 3,500.
3,500, and that is in less than 4 months that we've been running this community initiative. So my last question for you, Taryn, and especially to, we have a lot of people already following our podcast, and, so many of us spend ample amount of time on social media. Can you talk about the consequences that you have faced, maybe on behalf of both of us, as a result of starting this group?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, one of the biggest things when it comes to social media is misconceptions. There's so many people out there who hear about a group of people that are coming together, and immediately they think, it's that, I don't even know the right word for it. I don't want to say gang, but it's people think it's a negative thing when people are coming together over something that is technically negative. People automatically assume that just because it's something negative that has originally brought us together, that the group itself is negative. It's not. I mean, anybody who's on our group, they can see that we really are
and you're right. And sorry to interrupt there too, Tara, but that's exactly right. So often, I mean, we can't stop what people post on Facebook. And I know in your group, monitoring it has been a challenge in itself, of course, because people will say what people will say, and there's no stopping that. And I mean, there's the monitoring and then going removing these posts, but the amount of time that goes into that, I'm amazed at in talking to you before how much time goes into just monitoring and trying to remove some of these comments, because of course there's going to be comments that don't show how this group are, exactly what they represent. And so often it spins off, and then this group gets called this, that, or the other, when not understanding the true meaning to connecting our community.
And one of the other things too that we noticed, of course, we talked about this, briefly talked about this last time, was the fake profilers. They're everywhere, and you would see just a swarm come in and post these ridiculous rhetoric, racist, uncalled for comments, and then they're just gone, right? And we also, when I was going through, I love collecting statistics, blah, 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 blah. But, you'd see an influx of these types of posts being done from 1 to 3 in the morning. Well, we're sleeping. Do you know what I mean? And then people would take screenshots and they'd be like, look at this group, what they're all about. No.
This group is, we've heard everything from racist, and I hate to, it's brutal.
Everything. And, every time that we are calling people racist, you're continuing racism.
That's right.
Do you know what I mean? It's heartbreaking, because so many of the folks that I serve, happen to be the ones that are, finding themselves on Facebook for going through cars and stuff like that, right? So, I think it's again, if people understood and came and met with Taryn and I directly, they would say, wow.
And that's why that group,
and you are here to unify and collaborate.
And I've seen that. And with this group going over there and be able to speak directly with those people that are involved in the connecting our community is amazing. Well, Taryn, I won't take up too much of your time. Thank you very much for taking the chance to call in, and we'll look forward to chatting again in the future, Taryn. Thank you.
Not a problem. Thank you for having me.
So that was
yes, she's such a beautiful person. And
it's amazing where it has come from just a small group. Within a couple of weeks, it grew. And I can't thank her enough, because I could only imagine the amount of people and their comments on social media. And again, as you said, throughout the night, ones that are very difficult to remove.
And just even the harassment that admins have to go through.
So do you know what? Right? Let's take a quick break.
Sounds great.
And we will pop back after the message.
This is Connecting Your Community with Blaine and Mallory. We'll be right back after these messages.
The best thing around
is Copy Express your one-stop print shop.
Best thing around
Is the service at Copy Express.
the best thing around. That's what you found. The best thing around.
Blaine Higgin and the team at Copy Express offer the best of the best 2019 copy service. Perfect for your holiday gifting. Get your personalized Christmas calendars printed now and get 50% off your order of 2 or more. Copy Express, locally owned and operated just north of Costco.
There's a new art shop in town.
What?
Watercolors, acrylics, pastels, brushes, oils, canvas, and paper.
Oh! Where?
It's new, the Art Room at Smith's Audio on 13th Street North.
For high-performance sound.
And super art supplies.
Back again.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that we already have sponsors for our podcast too.
No, it's awesome to go in there. There's those people that are listening is, how can they be involved? And we can't thank those businesses enough for the support that they show. Yeah. Let's continue here a little bit about what type of crime have you been witness to throughout this time? And after this Connecting Our Community page came in, there was some concerns with those wanting to remove signs and didn't want to have them in there. And we found that those are probably individuals that were committing the crimes and didn't want to be able to have those neighbors up there watching. Can you speak a little bit to that? Yeah,
some of the crime that I personally encountered, definitely, I think, the property crime, people just coming in and out of your backyard, attempting to get into your front doors. You'd leave your house in broad daylight and you would see individuals trying to get into people's sliding windows. And you're just like, you're right there. And I'm like, and you're driving away and you're seeing. No, I stay out and I'm like, just want to let you know I'm on the phone with dispatch right now. Police are going to be coming. They're like, oh, okay. Like, it didn't even faze them. And yeah, of course, one of the things too that really broke my heart was I had parked my RV right outside my house. Literally 5 minutes, okay? 5 minutes, I run into my house and I'm like, you just have to put your necessities away, right?
Right.
And so I go back out and my RV batteries are stolen. Less than 5 minutes, I'm like, okay. And then all of a sudden I see a couple of my folks, my friends, walking down. I'm like, those are my RV batteries. What are you doing? Like, you're not even going to use them. And
but I think they get the money from taking them in for a core charge or whatever, right?
You can go into a pawn shop. You can pawn that stuff off so easy. And so we just really that's just some of it. And, even we have had so many instrumental people who will share their stories openly about the different crimes that we've been hit by, especially on the north. But again, this is a community issue.
So,
right.
In saying it, the community issue, what are some of the accomplishments then that this group has seen since starting both Taryn starting up the Facebook page and you dropping all the letters throughout all of the mailboxes?
That was time consuming.
Well, it took some time, but there's been results, and that's what's really exciting, right?
Yes.
So tell me some of the accomplishments since that time.
Oh my gosh, where do I even begin? I mean, we had NHL hockey players reach out to us, Blaine, and heard about these children who've been impacted by crime. And so I had just put an amazing post out asking, hey, has your children, any youth that been impacted by property crime, having your bike stolen? And one Saturday, my phone was ringing. It was an NHL hockey player saying, hey, I heard what you're doing in the community of Lethbridge. I have some buddies. Can we come forward and sponsor 12 kids? And I'm just blown away because it's just so beautiful, Blaine. So we sponsor 12 kids with brand new bikes. Right. We have bi-weekly meetings with amazing guest speakers that come in and talk about various social issues and, just raising awareness. We are all about sharing resources. I want to say about 2 months ago, we invited City Council to look at the possibility of having more officers. We called out for more police officers because we understood and saw these guys were just, running crazy and working a lot of overtime. So we get to celebrate that as well. And, we've had 5 families sponsored through the Christmas season. We've amazingly just, opened up donations for a woman who fled domestic violence and her house is set up. Because
that's amazing because I remember the call out you had for help with that. Yep. And it was amazing. It was within just a few minutes. It was flooded to the support that came in. And
that's what we want to celebrate is that beautiful unified collaboration. And I mean, I can't thank Remax Lethbridge enough. These guys just they're like, hey, we have some stuff for you. Do you mind stopping by the office? And my whole truck was full. Brand new clothes for these kids, brand new items. And it was just so beautiful. And, that's what we're all about. We're all about that collaboration and creating that.
And it's going, it seems that it's just a start because every time that something happens, we've talked about this over the past couple of weeks. We'll stay in touch on a regular basis. Like, oh, Blaine, you're not going to believe what happened. We've got this family come forward and this family come forward and they're helping here, they're helping there. Amazing. And this is what it's all about. And so the connecting our community came together because of some concern of crime, etc. But the spin-offs have been amazing. They've been able to tackle some of those concerns they've had with crime. Absolutely. They've got to know their neighbors. Together, they've helped people throughout the community. Mm-hmm. It has been just phenomenal to see where this has actually gone. So an accomplishment in itself, right, is just connecting up these people.
Yeah. And I think the other thing, too, to definitely celebrate is we were so frustrated, and we quickly realized that frustration was getting us nowhere. And so we realized that we need to create this unity and we need to be solution-based. And that's where it was like, whoa, Taryn, I can share all these resources. I can bring the guest speakers. And she's like, I'll do this.
And that's so important because
let's really balanced.
So when we talk about that, that's really interesting because the sharing of resources and we've talked about different collaboration with Rohan and Amazing Kids and the Amazing Grace Church, some of those things. Now also, every time I go to this Connecting Our Community group, and the meetings, bi-weekly meetings, you have different guests. Yes. And so what's interesting is that not only have you reached out to see if they would come and speak, but they have reached out to you wanting to come because they've seen the difference that this group has made throughout the community. Can you talk a little bit about the different, some of the different guest speakers we've had at Connect Our Community?
Yeah, we've been, again, just honored. I mean, I think one of the other things too that we want to focus on, again, those misconceptions Taryn talked about, oh, you're anti-addict. No. We are here to even help break that stigma. We are here to provide resources for people who are struggling with addiction, chronic substance abuse, polysubstance abuse, right? And it's getting the additional services that they require. Just raising that awareness and breaking those stigmas. And so anyway, we've had everyone from Shauna Penny from Streets Alive Mission came and spoke about her journey in recovery and sobriety and how she's overcame that. Lethbridge Police, we even had Mayor Spearman come to a meeting as well. Right. Again, our MLA Nathan Newdorf, he came and spoke as well, which was huge because you want it gives that perspective. Because and let's talk a little bit to that. It was what was really important having that having Nathan come was sharing the provincial and what we could do as a city, what the province has to do, and the difference between those. And so, and again, we're collaborating with the provincial government to find these solutions. So it's extremely important that to have Nathan come and speak, Minister Newdorf come and speak, was amazing. You also had you've had police come and talk about crime. We've had the K9 unit. We had Constable Furby come, and I think that was one of our largest attending meetings, just because Constable Furby was, him and his PSD dog, they were in the Fairmont, when the Fairmont intruder was. And, we just can't say enough about the K9 unit specifically as well, because I think it's a unit that we need to, raise more awareness about, especially what to do and what not to do when the K9 unit has to come to the crime scene. Right. We've had, downtown police unit, instrumental in absolutely everything. And we've had a couple sergeants come as well. And then that group, I just want to touch base on that group when Constable Furby came by, because that was the time, and correct me if I'm wrong, that was the meeting where there was an actual bike that was downtown police unit, and the DPU was there. Yeah. At one of the meetings where an actual bicycle was stolen while this was being filmed and while this meeting was going on. They deployed very quickly from the meeting and were able to find this individual and arrest them. And I mean, at that meeting particularly, so we started. How do you do that outside during that meeting when you've got? I think there was 4 policemen there, correct? Oh my gosh, that night? We had 4 police officers. We had over, I want to say 75, 100 people, residents. We're meeting outside. We loved, local media stations were here, and was there. Everyone was there, and. A gentleman just walked into a backyard thinking that we weren't paying attention. So Lethbridge News Now did a really great video on that. So, he went right in and tried to steal a bike while we were meeting in public. And that's incredible. Yeah, he was arrested and charged. So this is connecting our community. It's beautiful. But it's connecting and making sure that these neighbors know what happens within their community. Yes. And what's important about that is, again, I can't emphasize enough how important it is to getting to know your neighbors. There's so many things that they know. I saw this person that was looking around your home, and who you're talking to now. Your neighbors, and so getting them connected is extremely important. So now we're almost to the wrap of this, and we're going to have another coming out here again quickly, because the requests for different podcasts far outweigh us doing the podcast. Yes, and so, of course, we're going to have to double up on probably some recording of these for future. But I do want to just end with, what is the hope and what is the desire for this connecting our community group going forward? Our hope is to continue to unite our community through solution and resource-focused approaches, to continue to invite every different perspective, right? And now, Blaine, we have seen in our community so often, you have to be on this side or you have to believe in this approach. And if you don't believe in this, that's what's so frustrating. There's such a divide. There's such a divide. So our hope, and I think after the first couple meetings, it was very evident, our hope is to extinguish that, to reduce that, to, stop together with the sides, come together, work together. It doesn't matter what your perspective is, what you believe in. We need to be a unified community. That's how we are going to flourish, and that's how we're going to prosper. And you know what? I think that is, come together as a group. And raising awareness. From that point there, exactly. So on that note,
looking forward to what the next episode has to bring for us. So
me
thank you
too.
very much, Mallory. It's been awesome. High five.
High five. Woo!
See ya.
You've been listening to Connecting Your Community with Blaine Huygen and Mallory Christensen. Join us next time as we continue to discuss community topics and how all of us together can make a difference. Remember, there is no community without unity.